Yeah, we're into the final half hour now, and it's definitely going to be an exciting one. Like you said, OneHive have pretty much got to take the dips now. I know they've gone for a couple of 12v12s earlier on, knowing that they had the extra attacks, but now they've got to just take them dips and get the stars onto the board. Use the fact that they've got that 12v12 as a bit of leverage. They now need to be playing things a little bit safer, in my opinion.
Yeah, completely. I don't mind the order that they've done things. I think that 12v12 is a huge momentum swing to them. But obviously now, with that 12v12, they are in the lead. Do the safety first. Keep that lead. Put the pressure back onto Elite Gaming.
Exactly, because all of that hard work could get undone. Like we said, the dip fails, they do happen. And if for whatever reason they struggle here, I don't think they're going to, but if they do, they could put themselves in a bit of a tricky situation moving into the final parts of the war.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of acceptable to lose a war because your attacks are not going your way. It's unacceptable to lose one because you lost the war. You know, giving the other side a win is just, it's one of the most horrible things. We've all done it. We've all been there. We've all been part of it, but it is painful. Losing to a clan that, you know, just plays better than you, that's fine. But when you give them the win, it takes some time to get over that.
Yeah, exactly. And we've mentioned it a few times already throughout the stream, that OneHive, just that little bit in the lead in terms of attacks they had and things. Definitely with that 12v12 in the lead now. So it's all about them trying to convert it. Yes, Elite Gaming could come out and fly 3 12v12s in, and there's not a great deal you could do about that. But definitely OneHive have got to just convert at this point and try and finish off the job.
Yeah, and they've got to be pretty pleased as well because they were behind at 10v10. They did finish -2, but that's still pretty acceptable considering how, you know, Elite Gaming were quite a bit ahead at one point. Obviously, on the 11v11 game as well, OneHive 7-6, they take the win there just. So they'll be very, you know, content with how it's gone. But it is all going to come down to this. 27 minutes remaining, 3 12v12 attempts from Elite Gaming. We think, as long as there's no dip fail, there'll be 2 more attempts from OneHive, but obviously OneHive with that 1 already on the board. We've seen already Spartan's Legacy got the win with 1 12v12. Clash Warriors got the win with 1 12v12. You know, with this new meta, with these 12v12s being harder, 1 could be enough.
Yeah, it most certainly could. And like we've said, there's so many factors, psychological factors that come into play here. Elite Gaming know that they're a 12v12 behind. They know they've got to get these attacks in. That puts an incredible amount of pressure on it. But I think, like you said there a little bit earlier on, it is important to note how good of a war these clans have put on. Like you said, Elite Gaming come out firing at 10v10, then OneHive pulled it right back. They were so far in the lead at one point, really, in them initial stages of the 11v11 hits, and I'm so happy that Elite Gaming were able to convert things a little bit better, get their hit rate a little bit up, but ultimately they've lost out that little bit at 11v11, and it's great. It's going to come down to the final few attacks. That's what we want to see. Tight, close wars, they're always the most exciting. That's exactly what we have on our hands, not that we would have thought any different.
Not sure if Flip is still here, but Flip from 6S, give us all a big shout out. So thank you so much to him. Like I said, ForgedFromSteel and 6S, it was a great war. We enjoyed it. I mean, an unusual war, certainly for the way it went, but well done to 6S for getting the win. Thank you to both of the clans for having us involved. And obviously, great job by all the streamers and giving it some hype. I always say this about those schedules that we do. All the other streamers like Clash Playhouse, like Vision, Susie Gaming, Barmy Army, they make our jobs easy at the end because they hype up the wars so much. All we have to do is rock up and talk for a little bit about these great attacks. I don't know. They set us up so nicely.
Yeah, definitely, and I cannot shout out the clans enough. Like you said, thank you so much for the clans having us involved with that other stream as well. Great to see the attacks again coming right the way in. It was definitely an interesting one coming down, a complete different one to Elite Gaming and OneHive, but it always seems to be the same. This matchup is just, it's kind of that rivalry which will always be there. Elite Gaming and OneHive, it's always going to be super close, super competitive, and I just love it every single time that it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's back to Ash, it's back to Jake. We've taken over. We are the Stooges, and we are the Padawans learning from the Masters. And yeah, it's great to see. And I like I said, I circled this one at the start of the season, and I've not been disappointed so far. 24 more minutes though. What is going to happen?
I know, time keeps ticking, and we talked about time management from both OneHive and Elite Gaming. Interestingly, Elite Gaming haven't attacked for quite a while now, really trying to focus on each and every one of them attacks. But they've got the ability to do that. They already had their other attacks done, whereas OneHive have had to keep attacking in the background. Is that a good thing though? That's another thing we haven't quite mentioned. Because Elite Gaming haven't attacked for a while, OneHive have kept the momentum going. They've kept their confidence going. Is that going to come into play in these final few minutes?
I don't know what to expect. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, there are 3 more dips for OneHive that they need to make. We'll see how that plays out. Soft King saying SL are in trouble. Does that mean that Genesis still have attacks left? I thought CH was saying it as though they do. Genesis have hit a 12. I think that Legacy will win it on percentage. I think that Legacy will win it on percentage, but Genesis did hit a 12v12.
What a comeback.
SL1.
You've got to give them credit for that. You would expect Legacy to win on percentage, definitely having all of them hits up at the Town Hall 12 bases, but imagine if Genesis had have converted both of them attacks. Do they have an attack left, or have we confirmed Legacy have got the win there?
No, CH says that they won ages ago. But obviously we didn't see the Genesis triple, and Genesis must have left one of the bases on a 1-star, because they're actually tied up in terms of triples. All the triples are even. They've got 1 all at 12v12, but it is a 1-star win for Legacy. So obviously Genesis must have gone for a hero hit for the triple to get the win, because they were behind on percentage, and it ended as a 1-star.
Yeah, you've got to give them credit for doing that, but we do have one of them attacks coming in by Elite Gaming now then. It looks like it is going to be a Lalo starting out from the bottom of the base, just picking off the Archer Tower there, going to help with that funnel. And let's just see where he comes with things. King and Queen coming in from the top end of the base.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. Gets those couple of, obviously, Silver Loons down at 6 o'clock as well. Just clearing what he can for cheap, clearing what he can for free, and then opening the door to get that Queen inside to do some damage in there.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, so unfortunate with that giant bomb taking out his wall breakers. That's going to mean the Queen cannot get in that area with the Eagle and the enemy Queen. That is going to be huge. How much will that impact the raid? I really like the use of the Giants just sneaking in to try and help protect the Queen, but unfortunate, he had the giant bomb frozen, but obviously it is still going to impact the wall breakers.
I have a feeling he's got something. I can't see what's in the CC. On my screen, he doesn't have a blimp. My guess is he's got a blimp. And I wouldn't be shocked if he has dragons in there to take care of the Queen. I don't think he would have thought they got the Queen, because he knew the Hound was coming over. My guess is he wanted the Eagle, wanted the air defense, got the air defense, but without the wall break, doesn't get the Queen. Doesn't get the Eagle.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. Does he even have a blimp here? Looks like he doesn't have anything. It's a couple of dragons coming in, and clearly that was meant for the Archer Queen, but started the attack. I know there has been changes in terms of how the siege machine works and when it is selected, but that's got to be said to be a huge mistake coming into an attack like this, and not getting that switch. Not sure what's happened there, but it is going to mean everything comes crashing to the ground, and it's not going to pay off on this one.
And that's amazing, because Spartan's Legacy said they did the same. They had 1 or 2 attacks where they didn't put the correct siege weapon on, and it came to bite them in the ass, affected at least one of their attacks, and it's hit Elite Gaming here because, he must have known it, because there's no way he was meant to put the blimp there. Like, he just put them dragons down there because he knew it hasn't happened. He probably wanted to just get a 2-star and get some percentage. He doesn't get it. Oh, it is brutal, and it's been brought up. It's been fed back. I've seen it on the forums. I've seen it on Reddit. A lot of people are not happy about that change.
Yeah, there is a lot of people not happy about it. Like you said, I've seen it up on the forums, on Reddit as well. Clearly, it's really had an impact there on Elite Gaming. Let's just hope they can spin things around. They're not going to dwell on that too much. They've got 20 minutes to turn this war around. It's not over yet. It is going to come down to them final few hits, but certainly OneHive, they've got to be trying to just get these hits done, get this war wrapped up and won.
Rekka said it happened twice to Spartan's Legacy. It's brutal. Let's hope we don't see it anymore here. We don't want to see it, because, to be honest with you, we want to see the best attacks that we can. And obviously, a mistake like that, it's just something we don't want to see. We want to see the hits. Is it a defense? Is it an attack? We don't mind once it's inside the hit. Something like the preparation of it, we don't want to see it. It's not what we want to see.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what I was saying in terms of we've been having this discussion. We don't need to get into it. There's 20 minutes left. We're going to see all these live attacks. But that's what we're discussing about the different clans within the league as well. No one wants to see these, automatic wins. We're here because we want to see the clans battle each other. We want to see that entertainment. No one wants to see that stuff. And let's just hope that we are going to be in for a real close battle. If Elite Gaming can get a 3-star here at 12v12, it really does help things massively, but I think they'll still be behind on percent even with that.
Tell you what would be interesting, I certainly don't want to tempt fate, but if there was one dip fail from OneHive, not because it would change anything too much in that they would still have the 12v12, they'd have another attack to go in on it, but time would start to go against them. Even if they go for these dips on the 18th minute, it would be the 15th minute by the time they're finished. Somebody else would then have to build an army to make up for it. I mean, time is going against them, perhaps more than stars here.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting point, and with that, we have one of them coming in here. It's that dreaded base. We've seen it attacked 3 times already within the last hour. Is the dip attack? Surely. It's been super close. Surely the dip attack's going to get this one done. Coming in with that same approach with the wall breakers. Yeah,
unbelievably, going back to this one. And on a dip, what's crazy about this is, this is a danger, to put it mildly. Now, he has executed it, fair play to him, but nevertheless, it's that's a variable, and one thing that we talk about on dips is reducing the number of variables, and that wall break is at the very least, is a variable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he had to get that right. Queen doesn't go in there. I know he may be able to then overpower the base and get lucky, because coming down to that final part, there was only them final few defenses, but he has executed it, and surely at this point, this is now going to be nothing but a 3-star.
You'd think so, but I don't want to tempt any fate. I'm not jinxing anything here. Nice split on the loons there. You can see they're pathing into all 3 of the defenses beautifully. Couple loons go forward in that rage into the eagle. This is looking very nice.
Yeah, you can see that blimp coming across, and he's going to have them Electro Dragons in again, I'd assume. He's popped that a little bit earlier. He did use it further down to the south previously, but actually just merging everything in might help him out here. Delays things on the clone. How many balloons has he got coming through? That is insane. Queen is going to go down to the Skelly, and that is absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, there's nothing to see there. I'm getting out of that. I'm getting out of that one. It's that's crushed. Nicely done by the king. I still, from a tactical point of view, it terrifies me when I see people try and overcomplicate dips, maybe is the better way to put it. But, I mean, he executed it. You could see there, he waited for the mortar shell to land, sent his wall breakers in immediately afterwards. Timing was perfect. You've got to give him credit. And it's a 12v11 on the board for OneHive. They're at 115 stars. In real terms, they're at 117 at the minute if they hit those 2 extra dips, and they are 1 star in front.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, which is definitely a factor worth mentioning, they do have the 65% on base number 1 as well. So even if Elite Gaming were to get one of these bases down, they would still be behind on percent if OneHive can convert the dip attacks. Ultimately, Elite Gaming need 2 triples here.
Yeah, not to mention the 87% on Coastal Jaggers as well from the 12v12. It's all in favour of OneHive right now. So Elite Gaming, they need to go deep. They need to hit 2 12v12s. That's the situation.
Yeah, definitely. But going back to that dip attack, I think that it was good for him to use that same attack, in my opinion. It was 96% with the 11v11, but I completely get what you're going with in terms of that entry with the wall breakers. It was a bit of a risky move, and I would have potentially had a couple of other things in there just as a plan B in case the same thing happened again. Not that it needed it because he wrecked that base, but definitely an interesting one.
I suppose there is some logic there that if he 96%ed with the failed wall break as an 11, even if they failed the wall break, it would still be a triple as a 12. So I see the logic there, but then why not just skip the wall break and just send in 2 more loons?
Yeah, I guess, and that's kind of what I said in the attack itself, but got it done beautifully anyway. What an attack it was. Level 8 Pidgey coming in against DJ. They really need a defense here, Elite Gaming. It would definitely help out.
Yeah, and obviously defense as well. I keep saying this at this stage because of the limited time left. It would add a lot more pressure to OneHive. Not so much in attacks, but in terms of time.
Yeah, definitely. We've mentioned it a bunch of times. The time management is a huge factor here. Using the queen very nicely at the top there, going to take quite a lot of damage from the king, but the rage is in there, ready to boost her straight back up and continue on that charge. She has been caught by the CC here. I'm sure that was kind of expected, to be honest. Not as much of a variable as the last time, but he's already starting from over on that right-hand side as well.
Hell of a scary moment there with that queen and that king. Obviously, he got the rage down, so the queen did the boost of damage, but he missed the healers with the rage and basically got the king on the last shot. Now, I think he was in control of that. I think he would have phased. I don't think he would have lost the queen, but still, not how he would have planned it, and his heart has just gained 10 beats a minute. So he's in a bit more of a pressure situation now. Let's see how much he can cool it back down.
Definitely, and we've mentioned about the dip attacks. You know, this is quite a large queen charge here. I'm liking it. It's definitely getting huge value, but the longer that the attack goes down, you've got to be thinking he's coming in with a minors any second now.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to time fail in a situation like this. Queen charge is superb, although he misses the ability. He does get the enemy queen, but he misses the ability. How costly will that be?
Especially in terms of that time as well, because he's got to be factoring in here that the queen would be taking out some of them defenses in the middle, would have got the eagle as well. I know it's not going to get a massive amount of hits onto the miners, but more so for time. There's a huge amount of base to get through here with only a minute.
Incredibly unlucky as well that the king went through a wall. The king could have come down, taken the double cannon, taken the arch tower and the Tesla. Instead, he beats through a wall, so getting no value on that south side. His miners are in, 51 seconds left. I mean, he's have to say his miners are doing a good job in the middle, but both his heroes there letting him down a little bit.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think he's got anything to worry about at this point. That giant bomb definitely makes it a little bit scarier, but I think the Valkyries and the Wizards at the top there really help out massively just to take out some of them buildings, help him with that time, and ultimately, down to the end here, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the Wrecker was the superb part of that raid. It really did a nice job clearing all the trash on that top side and then obviously opening up with some Valks to clear some more. You've got to give him credit there, but he missed the queen ability, got unlucky with the king, and not the smoothest entry with the miners either, and yet still he smashes it. Wow. Impressive stuff. Never any doubt, says someone in the chat. I'm not convinced I agree there.
Yeah, Rhaegal's interestingly said that I think he was leading into the rages a couple of the times actually, but yeah, an interesting one in terms of that queen charge and the rage spells, but we're coming down to the final 10 minutes here. It's level in terms of score, but OneHive do have that extra dip they can take because they've already got the 12v12. How's this one going to go? It could still go either way, which is a brilliant thing coming down to the final minutes.
OneHive need to make that dip because obviously if they fail it, they're so low on time now. Let's have a quick look who's got the attacks left as well. We've got level 8 with another hit to go. I'm guessing he might go for the next dip yet. And then Sebex and the King have both got hits also. Who have we got left on the Elite Gaming side?
We have DJ and Blair, and we do know that DJ is certainly capable of smashing 6-packs at Town Hall 12. He's an absolute beast with that Lava Loon, but certainly we've got the capability there to get this done. It's all down to the day, really. Can they get them attacks in?
Do you agree with me? Do you think Elite Gaming need 2 to have a real chance in this one? Do you think they need to hit both?
I think they do need to hit both because they're behind on percent. Either way, even if they get the 12v12, unless OneHive fail that dip multiple times, then they've lost. Elite Gaming need to get the 2 12v12s in. I mean, just an epic war coming down to it. We always knew it would be. That's why we were going to join together like this. Sebex, though, coming in for the 12v12.
Here we go. He's been a beast recently. I'm being realistic here. If he hits this, it's not over, but it's so hard for Elite Gaming to win this one. Sebex with the pressure on here.
Absolutely, and you can see the battle blimp is down in the army composition, so that same factor is not going to happen on this one. We've seen that Lalo attack previously, and he smashed that other base. Can he replicate it, get the 6-pack, and be the ultimate MVP for OneHive in this war?
And a power potion as well. Maybe he was watching the Forged from Steel war and thought, no gambles taken here.
None whatsoever. Continues to walk around the side with the queen there. In comes the king to set that funnel and try and steer the queen into the base towards that enemy queen. Failed on that first wall break. We've seen it a bunch with them multi-infernos, but the rage spell is going to secure they at least get that first wall compartment open.
Scary moment there, but the king clears that bottom building, which changes the pathing and sends the queen inside. Has taken a lot of damage on the healers, a combination of traps and the wizard tower, but he's still rolling, and another trap goes off, but still he keeps going. Sebex here, overpowering.
Yeah, he had the multi-inferno onto them healers as well, and this is a very important moment. If he pops the hound here, which he's going to, he's got to get that poison right, otherwise he could leave pups and the baby dragon up. He's not though, he's going to get them down, just about worked out. He's popped that jump spell in just because he's got it, but the queen is going to go down at this point.
Yeah, I can't see how he could have predicted there would be that many traps on that side of the base. And obviously his plan was that the queen would get the sweeper, which he's not bothered about with where it is, but his plan was also that he would get the eagle. Now, he does have some pups on there. He's got a loon on there, so it is doing some damage, but he's probably going to take 2 more salvos from the eagle that he would not have planned upon.
The Grand Warden with an clutch moment there. He was lagging behind. He wasn't over the top of the Gigabomb, and at the last second just lunged forward, got in range of the balloons, and was able to press that ability, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to Fog here. Maybe he suspected a queen walk on that side. I mean, we saw at least 2 black mines, and the pathing got a bit messed up by the Tesla as well, which dragged the queen down, which means the healers took hits from the wizard tower as well as the multi-inferno, as well as the traps, and it all combined together that even though Sebex, I mean, he played it like a boss. You've got to give him credit for it. Did everything right, but ultimately lost the healers, couldn't get his queen into that eagle, and from there it all fell apart for the loons.
I disagree with you. There is one healer sitting over there just observing what's going on here. He's kept on to one of them, but it's obviously not enough to help him through this. They've got to be happy with that though, in terms of, yes, it's a fail in terms of the 3-star what they were aiming for, but they've increased the percentage massively there, and they've just kind of secured what we were saying, that Elite Gaming need the 2 12v12s here. OneHive will be hoping that they can get one of the defenses as well.
Yeah, obviously, if OneHive dip, they will have that second chance at a 12v12. It's crazy how they've done this. I cannot believe they've still got a dip on the board. I mean, they must have known that Elite Gaming would go last minute with their attack. No logical reason as to why they wouldn't. Very strange how this one has gone, but at the same time, you've got to say OneHive still in a great position. All they really need to do is hit that dip and get a defense. Obviously, if they put a 12v12 on with those massive percentages they've got on the bases, it would be all over.
Yeah, definitely. And with 2 attacks on the dip, you've got to say that it's probably going to happen. So Elite Gaming need them 3s, but now we've got to see OneHive going for the dip. I know they've been reaching and going for the 12s, just kind of assuming they're going to get the dips, but with only 2 attacks, they can't mess about now. The next one has to be on that 11 just to get it done before they go for any more 12s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be too critical here. You know, I love the guys in OneHive, but I would have dipped that base some time ago. I don't agree with leaving it this late, because obviously they could go back in on it if they end up failing. Oh, wow. It's killing me.
They just like
left
to leave us in suspense. That's what I'm saying. This is what Fog does each and every week. He does them dip attacks, and he makes it so that he just clutches it and has me clutching onto my chest at the same time. He really does just give me a heart attack each and every week, but he always gets it done. So maybe that's what the guys over there at OneHive are going to be doing here. Just letting you sweat a little bit at him.
Oh, and it's working. It's adding years to my age, is this? It really is. Obviously, if they'd have dipped that base 10 minutes ago, we'd only be looking at Elite Gaming now. However, there is a bit of a crazy combination of events here where if OneHive fail the dip and fail the 12v12, because it does look like they're going to be going on 2 bases, they're not going for like the double dip if they fail it, they could potentially finish on 116 stars, in which case Elite Gaming only need 112v12.
You're absolutely right. OneHive need to get in here with that dip, because if they go 2 bases at the same time, yes, there is logic in saving your attacks to the last minute so that people can't calculate percent, but that's not what OneHive need to do. They just need to secure the dip, so they need to give themselves enough time to go back in on it, in my opinion, like you just said. So they've got to be going in any second.
Yeah, I mean, the percentage war is over. There's no combination of events that Elite Gaming could win the percentage game now, because obviously even if they hit the 12v12s, they would still have 2 bases with very low percentages on them. So because of that, OneHive have already got the 2 high percentages and the triple. There's no way that they could not win the percentage game now. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre, is this one.
But it just gives Elite Gaming the opportunity to only take 1 12v12, but still get the win, potentially. However, in it comes with the dip attack. It's level 8 Pidgey. We know the talent here. Let's see if he can get it done.
Now, I'm going to say this from the start here. If this in any way looks like it's going to fail, it's going to go against all my rules of rage quitting, because he will skip out of it immediately. So that way there is a chance that the other attack could go in if it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably one of the only situations that a rage quit would be acceptable. But let's just see how it happens. And I think if a 12v12 comes in, what do we do? Do we jump across? Does one of us go across and the other one sits here with the dip in terms of giving his commentary on that? I think that's probably the best thing to do.
I agree. I can't think. I need to... I'm just watching this now with my nerves frayed.
Completely focused. There goes that rage ability to help the Queen. The Wall Wrecker.
The Queen sort of could have bounced both ways. Luckily, she has come back the way he wanted, but it wasn't as smooth as he would have liked. Now, though, looking very good.
Definitely, and if the Wall Wrecker gets that extra compartment, doesn't, but there's Valkyries in there, not a problem. They're going to be able to bust that compartment so the Queen can get in there as well, and going to be able to get massive value in the centre of the base, ready for the miners.
Yeah, he's torn apart those 2 bomb towers, nailed the witches as if they weren't there. Absolutely excellent stuff there. The Valks and the Queen, timing it perfectly.
Yeah, and then the King's going to come onto the trash buildings on the outside with the wizards as well. It's a shame not to use the amount of health he has and not have them wizards behind. Just take out the trash, allow the miners onto the defences in the middle of the base, and the pathing here for them is going to be good.
Only 90 seconds left is the scary part here. We're at 60%, but it looks like there's quite a bit left to go through here. He needs the miners to not be in one stack. They are going to have to split a little bit, otherwise it is going to be a time fail. This is horribly risky here. He gets that heal down, gets that rage. Now the movement begins.
Yeah, the miners are going to split a little bit here because of that, but I agree. A minute with all of these buildings, I don't think he's going to get this. I think it's going to be a time fail.
Why does he not have a goblin for the town hall here? Little things like that would have speeded this up tremendously. Obviously, the miners have split very nicely for him. You've got to say he's been a little bit lucky here. Can he do it?
He's certainly got enough miners left, and like you said, the split has worked out perfectly for him, and in fact, it's going to be exactly the same as the last time we watched the miner hit. It's going to surprise us, and they're going to clear it with relatively comfortable time remaining.
Springtrap ended 3 of them, just to slow us down a little bit. There's an elixir storage left.
Full that health
really
as
is
well.
The last hit points.
Yeah, there's a bunch of miners. It is full health, but it's going to go down relatively quickly.
I
can't believe he turned that down. I can't believe he turned that round like that.
They're doing it on purpose to make this more exciting. I'm sure of it. OneHive.
That's what we want.
So, the real story now is Elite Gaming need 2 12v12s and the defense. If OneHive triple, it's a OneHive win. If OneHive get any defense, it's a OneHive win. I've gone in on DJ. Have you gone in on Blair?
I've gone in on DJ as well, but I can jump out.
Super. We've got a Queen Walk from DJ starting off at 9 o'clock. Baby Dragon doing a little bit of work up there at 10 o'clock to create that funnel. Looking nice so far, but it's going to be a slow build-up here with the Queen Walk.
Yeah, it's a similar approach from Blair as well on Sebex. I know OneHive are clearly in as well, but really it's the Elite Gaming attacks that can change or give the war to OneHive. The Queen charge is working quite nicely from this end. And it's really just trying to help set up the pathing ready for the bowlers. Healer's taking a lot of damage though.
Yep, and obviously, like I said, both of these have to be triples. Any combination of Elite Gaming not getting 2 triples here, the war would be over. If they both look like they're going to triple, one of us will leap over and see what OneHive have done. Because bear in mind, even if they both triple, Elite Gaming will still lose if OneHive triple. It's advantage OneHive right now. We've got a failed wall break here, though, so the Queen Walk is not going to work as nicely as intended.
Yeah, on this one, the healers have already gone down. Just one air defense in range of them, picked off each and every one of them. A lot of bowlers walking around the outside. Not the end of the world, but he's got a lot of base left to take out here with not a huge amount of troops, and I'm not sure that he's going to get this one done.
Interesting strategy by DJ. He was looking for a double wall break, but with the jump, he manages to adapt it with a single wall break and the jump. And he has got his queen into the town hall. He's back in the game here. Risky, not a good way to do it. And obviously the healers get murdered by the Giga Tesla because of the direction that he took. But he is still just about in the game.
Yeah, this one is exactly the same, just about in, but the bowlers are taking massive damage. They're just stalled out towards the end of the raid, getting stuck on walls. He's still got the Queen's ability, and he needs to hold on to that for the final few defenses. There's just too much base here left for him to take out.
We've got a bigger problem here. The Queen has survived. The Hound has popped as well. It's all gone wrong very quickly here. There's a baby dragon wrecking him. It's all over. It's a defense on this one. I'm going to jump straight over just because I'm curious as to what's happening with the King.
Yeah, it was 87% on the other attack as well, so that one didn't happen either. But heading over to the one by OneHive, can they really get another 12v12 here and just really put out one heck of a performance?
I mean, this is crazy. It should be a fail because his Lalo has gone wrong, but because the Queen charge is still up and he has 2 more loons to drop in, there is a chance he could get this. It would be certainly not the plan. This is very much going for plan B, but there is a chance. I don't know if he's seen that he's got 2 loons left.
I think he's going to get this. He popped the Queen's ability early, literally to get through as soon as possible, get the Queen in firing range of all of these buildings. Going to use the loons for cleanup more than anything else. The Queen is protected with the healers, and he's got this all day long. Beautiful attack by King.
Nice adjustments there at the end. I mean, obviously, he wasn't planning to finish with no loons. I'm not having that. But the Queen gets it done. And OneHive not only getting the defenses, but the offense as well. And it's 118 to 116. What an extraordinary war. What a finish.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely crazy war. We knew it was going to be close. OneHive really showing their class at the end there. I feel we should watch that 12v12 because we missed the start of the attack anyway. What a beautiful, beautiful finish coming down to it.
All my new emotes are getting some use now. Get them out there in the chat, guys. Get those out there. If you've got Jake emotes, you can throw them out there as well. Have some fun with them. Wow, because I mean, obviously with that late dip, the feel was there, but they managed to execute. They made it look so smooth in the end. Like, yeah, what are you talking about? We were planning that.
They did, and it's interesting that we were talking about the attack on Fog earlier, and they've came in with a very similar strategy here. They've obviously just tweaked things a little bit with the King, and he's absolutely crushed it. But like you said, I really like the adjustments coming down to the final parts of the raid there. That's just being on that next level, knowing to pop the Queen early. A lot of people might have tried to save onto it to get through the defenses, but time was the issue, not taking out the defenses.
I have to do a couple of quick shout-outs. I had a couple of resubs and gifted subs, so thank you so much to them. Also had a big donation from Abs. I've just got to shout him out quickly. Thank you, man. Obviously, with Judo being on here, I can't focus quite as easily on the chat, but I still appreciate it very much.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to echo exactly what you've just said to my followers as well. Obviously, can't really keep the conversation going as much when we do the dual streams, but we don't always do these. I think it's fun. It's definitely something I like to do a little bit more of, so it's worth it in my opinion. And really the change here in terms of this attack was just keeping the Queen up. You can see how the Queen was able to take out the Wizard Tower early on, protect the healers, and then get so much value from the Queen charge in itself that the Lalo is just then so much more effective.
It's the rule that I have to put music on in the background on a OneHive win. We've got Sebex in the chat who made those hits. Sebex, brilliant job by you. I hope Susie's here as well. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on your stream, but basically any time on a OneHive win, it comes back from the Jake days. We get We Are the Champions on from Queen, so I'm just going to put that on in the background. It's not to rub it in. It's just,
I was going to say, I'm just going to back out at this point, mate.
I get shouted at if I don't do it, so I have to put it on.
No, honestly, good job to both clans. We talk about how much respect we have for the different clans in the league. They've given it what they've got. Both sides have put on an incredible war. It's been swinging either way, and OneHive really just doing what they needed to do at the end there.
I mean, yeah, so cool under pressure. This is a clan that, what we're not talking about. 4 weeks ago, people were talking about, is it the end of OneHive? I mean, obviously, they had a few roster problems, had to delay a war for a week just to get everything back tidy again. But they took that time out, got some guys back on board, really sort of sat down and refocused their efforts. And what a turnaround. I mean, that is an impressive war against a very impressive clan as well in Elite Gaming. I mean, OneHive, where's the limit now? What can they do here? 118 as a score. If you look at the rest of the scores around Invite, 118 is as good as it gets.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of the amount of attacks they had, we talked about Legacy there and the amount of conversions they made at 12v12. OneHive ultimately made them count, so that's exactly what they needed to do. But again, thank you so much for joining me. I've had a ton of fun with this, and I hope that the viewers have enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to put some OneHives and some Elite Gamings in the chat. I want to give respect to both clans, not just because I like both clans, but also because obviously Elite Gaming, not every clan does this. When we stream, we always stream from one clan, but Elite Gaming are like, don't be silly. Get some streamers in our clan as well. Let's do it from both sides. And, it's awesome. It makes it into a much better event. So obviously, if you've got emotes, if you've got my emotes or the Elite Gamings, the OneHives, anything like that, just put a bit of everything in the chat and show some love to both of them. For putting on such a great show, an entertaining war, if nothing else.
Definitely. Couldn't have said it better myself. But I'm going to basically wrap up the stream on my end of things. So again, thank you so much for joining me, Adam. If any of you guys haven't, I've had it popping up in the chat there the whole time. Get on over to the Time to Clash YouTube channel. Drop this guy a sub. Does some amazing stuff over there. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, do me a favor as well. When you're on my Twitch chat, just type something in there so everybody can see you, and then obviously they can click on your name and throw you a follow as well. So for that time, next time you're on without me, they can hop on and see what you're doing over on Twitch.
I will do. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'll come over and do that now. But everyone on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. OneHive getting the victory on this one. That is going to wrap it up. Until next time, guys, peace out.